What you're about to watch is the most comprehensive Shopify masterclass on the internet. I've generated over $100 million in e-commerce, and I've helped hundreds and hundreds of students build their Shopify businesses to 6 and 7 figures. And in this video, I'm going to show you step by step behind the scenes in my stores exactly how you need to set up your Shopify store to run a successful e-commerce business. I'm going to cover everything from how to choose the right theme, how to find products, how to optimize your store, how to run ads, how to do SEO, email marketing, how to find teams, and how to scale your business. This isn't one of those normal how-to tutorials that you see other YouTubers doing. This is getting inside my business and showing you exactly what you need to do. And by the end of this video, you should be able to set your store up to go from zero to at least $100,000 a month. And to make it super simple for you, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my ultimate Shopify setup checklist so you can take that away and set up and run your store the right way. So if you're serious about building a life-changing e-commerce business, it's time to close those tabs, grab a drink, grab a notepad, and let's dive in. Now let's start with the foundations on setting up your Shopify store. If you don't already have a Shopify store, lucky for you, I'm a Shopify partner and I get the absolute best deals on Shopify. So I've put a link in the notes to the best deal currently that's happening for Shopify. When you click it, it's going to take you to a page just like this. The deal is going to be something like $1 a month for a Shopify subscription and a few free days to get started. To do that, all you need to do is type in your email address. Once we've got that, you're going to come to a screen a little bit like this. You're probably going to have a few setup instructions, but this is actually one of the stores that we are currently setting up of a new product that we're releasing. I'll take you through that product a little later. But the first thing you're going to want to do is install a theme. Now, the way Shopify works is it has themes that sit over the top of the back end that you work in all the time. And a theme is just basically the way the shop looks, feels, and works. So we're going to click into the online store. We're going to click themes. And you're going to have options to put themes in here. You can see I've already got some themes that I've been playing around with. But to add a new theme, we're going to click across to the right. And we're going to click Visit Theme Store. When we're in the theme store, we're going to click Browse Themes. Now, you may have an opportunity to buy themes outside the Shopify theme store. I'd recommend against that. And the reason for that is when people build themes that aren't officially recognized by Shopify, they may not be done as efficiently as optimized as possible. They may be bloated, they may be slow, and they may not have the support that we need. Whereas at least if they're in the Shopify theme store, we know that Shopify approves them and there's developers that can help you with it. Now, in order to choose the right theme, there's two options that you have. You either have a free theme or a paid theme. Now, I always go with a paid theme, and I'll tell you why. If you go with a free theme, it's going to get you started and it's going to have the basic features. But as soon as you want to sort of grow the store and take it seriously, you're going to either have to pay for extra apps or you're going to have to pay for a developer to edit the theme for you. All of those things cost you money and usually ends up being hundreds of dollars. Whereas a paid Shopify theme is only a few $100s and you only need to pay it once. And the cool thing about having a paid one is it already has all the features built in that you need and you don't need as many additional apps. The other great thing about it is if you have a problem with the theme, because you paid for it, you can contact the developer and get them to help you with the issue that you're having. So let's go through and I'll show you how I go about choosing themes. So what I'd usually do is I'd sort by popularity. This shows us the amount of people that have effectively installed this theme, and it shows the most popular themes from start to finish. The other thing that it shows us here is the rating of these themes, of how popular they are. So the higher the rating, the more popular the theme is. So just start scrolling through here and seeing what catches your eye. The way I like to look at it is, if I think about the brand that I'm trying to put together, what theme here has aesthetic that looks like what I want my brand to look like, okay? We can modify the color palettes, we can modify all those sort of things, but if overall it looks like the aesthetic I want to go for, then that's usually the theme I choose. You could go over to the left here and choose the category that you want, but sometimes the categories are a little bit too specific and you can usually just go with sort of a more overall theme that's going to help. So I'm going to have a look and choose one here. So I do like impact. Maybe I'll click that one. So what we can actually do is we can just demo this store and see how it works. We click View Demo Store and it's going to take us to an example of the way this store looks and feels. So what you want to be doing here is picturing what your logo, what your branding is going to look like, and then we're going to start to go through and have a look at some of the features and see if it has the features that we like. So this one has a nice banner, it has really nice menu item, has these nice rounded corners. Let's go into the collection, let's click that. It's got a nice big header banner, it's got some pretty cool little featured products here, that's really nice, it's got these sort of subcategories. Let's go into the product page. Okay, so this is looking really cool. I can imagine a logo in here. Let's have a look what it looks like on mobile. This is really important. I always want you to make sure you look at what it looks like on mobile, because the majority of your visitors are going to be coming from mobile. So we want to make sure this looks really neat and clean on mobile. Even though you're going to look at it on desktop most of the time, mobile is the one that your customers are going to be looking at. So this looks really good. We've got this nice little badge there. I like those, they're useful. It's got an in-stock message, it's got a shipping messaging. And as we go through this masterclass, I'm going to talk a lot about where you should place these to optimize your store. Okay, so let's just say I like this theme. What we're going to do is we can actually click try theme. We don't need to pay for it. So this theme's a few $100s, but when we click try, we can install it directly into our store, have a look at it with our products on there. We can manipulate it, play around with it, and we only pay for it if we want to go live with it, which means you could try multiple themes, all different styles, and see if it's one that you like. Great, so this one has now been added. We can see impact, and you can see I've got other themes here that I've worked on in the past, but you're going to work on your one here. We can tell that this one isn't live, and it does call it a trial. Okay, so this is the current live theme, and these are the ones I've worked on in the past. So we're going to work on this one. We're going to click customize, and this is the Shopify theme editor. What you can see is it's pulled in our logo. It's put a bit of a color palette across here by the looks of it. So we can just go through and start editing this. Now, the way this works is over on the left-hand side is what we call sections. These are the sections that we can use to manipulate the things on our page. So every section here, it relates to something here on the right-hand side. So that's the header. You can see the blue goes around it. That's the announcement bar. That's the newsletter pop-up. These are the overlays, so the things that overlay. You know, if we have a cart drawer that comes out, search drawer, these are all the overlays. Now, what we can actually do is we can just turn these off and on if we want. So if we go to the announcement bar and turn that off and turn it on, we can see it pops up and down. We can change the announcement. We'll go into that in a second. But the other cool thing is this is the main template. So we can see that's the slideshow, that's the image link blocks, you know, that's the scrolling text. But let's just say I want the image link blocks to be above the site here. We'd grab those image link blocks and we drag it up to here. And we can see that moves it up. So it's just up and down. It's really straightforward, super simple. And then what we can also do is we can actually go through and change the contents of this here. So we click over the thing that we want to change and then we move over onto the right-hand side. So here we can see it says tell your story and slide title. All we would need to do here is go, this is my story, and it changes it. And we could click down here and write, this is a slide, okay? And we do the same thing, we go through this way, and we do the exact same sort of way. We edit it there just by clicking it. Now, if we don't like it, we can just turn it off, or we can turn it on. Now, just a quick tip for optimization. We only recommend one homepage banner slide. We don't need multiple. One is enough. People don't spend enough time on your page to wait for them to flick through. So the other cool thing about this section editor here is we can add in additional sections. So you can see there's all these sections here. You can see slideshow, you can see text and images and grids, and I'm just going to hide them all, minimize them all here so you can see what I mean. But we've got all these other sections if we click add section. So we click add section and you can see these are all the options. Now this is typically what comes with a paid Shopify theme. You'll have a few sections when you use a free theme, but when you have a paid one, this is what you're paying for, all these additional, you know, custom sections that you can use. So we can see in this theme has quite a lot of sections in here, which means we can optimize and customize the store exactly how we want to. Everything from revealed images on scroll, which is, gosh, I don't even know what that is. Oh, okay, it's this one. We can go side to side. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, so we could do that. Has so many different features. So effectively, you can just go through and start adding things in. The other thing you can do when you have apps installed, and we're going to go through the best apps soon, you can click apps, and this is where you can install different sort of apps. So in our store, we've got an Instagram, so we would put in an Insta feed. So what that would mean is it'll bring in our Instagram feed onto the homepage. So that's sort of how we deal with sections on the homepage. Now you can do the exact same thing across all the pages on your Shopify store. So if we go to the top here and we see homepage, we can see we've got all these templates. These are effectively templates that apply to each section of the page. So the main templates you have are homepage, collection page, and product pages, but you also have, you know, lists and gift cards and cart pages and everything like that. This is where you can go in and customize it specifically to your store. So as an example, if we go to our product page, we can see that this is the product that we're looking to sell. All of these sections here can actually be moved. So we've got vendor up the top, so I can either turn it off as I had before, or I can turn it back on, or I could maybe put it down here, and we can start dragging things around. This is also where you'd add in things like app ratings, or you would add in additional text areas and things like that. But this is where you can start playing around. Now, what I'm going to do when we get to the product section of the video, I'll talk a little bit about, you know, what we need to put where and what helps your conversion rates. Now you can also go down and see what other sections there are. So in here, we just got this free shipping, and it's a pretty basic sort of product page. But we can obviously add in more sections here. So if I go to the sections, and I can add in, something like a comparison table, which would be great for this product. We add in the comparison table, we'd go here and we'd start filling out all the options here of the comparison table, okay? We can keep going through and just adding more and more sections. Frequently asked questions. We can add in, what else would be great here? We could add in sort of an image link with blocks. We can start to see that we can actually really start to build this page out nicely. And this is how we edit our product pages. Now this product page will apply to all products unless we create a custom product page. Now I'm not going to go into custom product pages here. If it's something that you would love to learn about, put a comment down below and I'll create a video specifically about custom product pages. And then we can also do the same thing for collections. Click default collection. And we can edit this here. We can add sections. We can basically do anything that we need to do in here. Add section. Do a collection list, we can add featured products. We can pretty much make the store look anything that we want it to look like, and we don't even need to use a developer, so that's really, really cool. Let's go into the other part of the theme editor. Over here, we have theme settings, and this is where we change the colors, and we change the layouts, and the buttons, and everything like that. Now, every theme is a little bit different in the theme settings, so it's not gonna look exactly the same based on the theme you choose, but effectively all you need to do is go through and start to sort of play around with this, Might be able to make the page width smaller. We might make the vertical spacing a bit smaller. Do we want the buttons to be cornered or do we want them to be square? Do we want the inputs to be round or square? Do we want the blocks to be round or square? So we can see we're now starting to change this from that round area to the square area. So we can really customize it so much. So go through, colors is the same thing. Look at all the different color options you have. We can go through and change the fonts that we want to have in there. We can basically do everything that you want. Currency formats, if you're showing codes, color swatches. So this is all the benefits that you get from a paid theme. So I think you're hearing what I'm putting down. It's really important to get a good theme. After all, you're investing in your business. So this is one of the investments that you need to make. All right, and then the final part is what we call the app embeds. And we'll talk a little bit about apps next. But this is where we enable the features that the app has within the theme. And this is important because sometimes we'll install apps, but where they may not be enabled. So this turns it off from the back end, which is the dashboard, to the front end, which is the theme. So if your app isn't working, it's good to come in here and just check to see that it is actually switched on. When I switch on InstaFeed, it's going to update the theme. And if we now go back to the home page, we should actually see that Instagram feed come through that we installed before. There it is there. Okay. So that is enabling the app. All right, so that is how we customize the Shopify theme. Now, if you wanted more details on customizing Shopify theme, let me know and I can do a video just on theme customization. So once you have your theme all set up, it's important to set up all sort of the static pages and everything that you need. So let's pop back to the dashboard and I'll show you where to do that. I'm gonna leave this because I don't need to save it. Over on the left under themes, you're gonna see this option which is called pages. We're gonna click that there. And you can see we've got a handful of pages here. Now these are all those sort of informational pages that we need to create. So I've created a few already, like an About Us page. We've done a reviews, a shipping info, frequently asked questions. And these are all pretty straightforward. We just click add page over here and we can go in and edit it like we normally would with any sort of page, okay? So that is pretty straightforward, pretty easy. I'm pretty sure I don't need to teach you much about that. Now, the other types of pages that we need to do are our legal pages. These are sort of your privacy policies, your refund and returns policy. Now, lucky for you, Shopify has this already built in. So we're gonna click settings and we're gonna go here to policies. So we can see here that there's already some written policies in here that Shopify has recommended. Now they already sort of pre-template them and I'll show you what I mean. Let's say we need to do a terms of service one. This is the one that Shopify already brings us and it is already pre-filled with the name of your company and other bits and pieces. However, the things that you need to go through and edit are the links to the other items. So we can see here is link to refund policy. We can go through and we've got another link to refund policies. Just go through and have a look at the areas that you need to fill in. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not giving you any legal advice, but if you're doing this, please get your lawyer or some sort of legal counsel to have a look to make sure this actually suits to your region and review it. And you can even see that Shopify says the same thing. Templates aren't legal advice. By using the policies, you agree to this disclaimer. So it's very important that you read through this and change the details. Now, the amount of stores that I've seen, especially in the dropshipping space, that don't even update this link is crazy. So make sure that you update this. So once you've got those pages ready, it's now time to link them to your menu and navigation. So let me take you through the way navigation works. So I'm going to cross that out. And over on the left under online store, we're going to click navigation. And we can now see we've got menus. Now these menus are usually specific to certain themes, but basically we tend to have a main menu, a footer menu, and some sub menus in there. And you can sort of see the way it links here. So I'll show you how to use it. So let's click into one of these menus. And you can see the ones that I've already set up in the past, but adding a new menu item is super simple. We just click add menu, and we can type something in here like privacy policy. And what we can do is we effectively just start to go through the sections of the store. So we can click policies, and we can see we've got privacy policy here. And that's the one that we created earlier. And we click add. And that's now going to add that to the main menu item. Okay, super easy, super simple. You can do the same thing with anything across your store. So let's just say I want to link directly to the product. I'll click in there. I can click products. And we've only got one product on this store, but we could click coffee concentrate, okay? And then click add. And that would create a link on our menu directly to that product. So you can effectively link to any single place on your store, just like that. Okay, so that's how you build out your menus. Now that that's all set up, I want to take you through the apps that you need to get started with. Now I've got 7 apps that you have to install to really make sure your store's got everything that it needs. Now to install an app, this is what we do. We go across to our app section of our store, and I want you to go to all recommended apps. It's going to bring up this screen here. So at the bottom of this screen, we're going to click Shopify App Store. It's going to take us to the official Shopify App Store. We can see we've got lots and lots of different apps here. Now these are the ones that I want you to install. So grab a notepad. The first one is the Facebook and Instagram app. Okay, so type in Facebook, click Facebook and Instagram, and this is the one I want you to install. Okay, we click it. We click open, it's going to ask us which store to install it on, and it's going to install it. Now, I've already got it installed in this store, so we're not going to have to go through any steps. The second app we're going to install is Shopify Inbox. Okay, now this is going to help us connect our customer service to our Shopify store and allow us to provide amazing customer service without having to pay for it. We'll go through how to do customer service later on in the video. So we click open, we install that. I've already got it installed, so it's just going to work straight away. Now, the next app that I want you to install is called Judge Me. Now, Judge Me is a product review app. So the reason we want to have a product review app is we want people to be able to place reviews on our products. The more reviews you have on your product, the higher the conversion rate you're going to have. We'll talk a lot about that when we go through product pages. So we're going to install that app. Done. The next app that I want you to install is going to be called Tiny Image SEO. Okay. And it's spelled with IMG for image. So let's go there. And this is the app here. I'm going to install that one. Okay. I've already got that obviously installed as well. Now this one's going to allow you to optimize all your images. Now, if you want to learn more about Shopify SEO, I do have the highest ranking SEO video in YouTube. I put a link to that in the notes as well. So feel free to check it out if you really want to optimize the SEO in your store. The next app I want you to install is called SellUp. Now, SellUp is an amazing app. Great thing about SellUp is it allows you to do quick add-ons and upsells. So when someone goes to buy one thing, you can encourage them to buy another thing, and it's not very intrusive, but it's enough to actually get them across the line. So I'll get you to install SellUp. And the next app is called Upcart. Now, Upcart is an app that maybe is a little bit optional depending on your theme, but what it does is it creates a slide out cart. Now, the slide out cart allows you to put in shipping motivators and do upsells and do everything within the cart without taking the person away from the product page. Now, your theme may have it. It looks like the one that we installed does have it, but Upcart is a way to do it if your theme doesn't have it. And then the final app that you must install is called Simprosis. Now, this app is really important because this app is the one that helps you connect your Shopify store through to Google feeds and Facebook feeds so that you can start advertising, but advertising at the level that us elite stores do. Now, remember, keep your app suite simple at first. Don't put in hundreds of apps because they can slow your store down. And even though they only may be a couple of dollars a month, they do add up over time. So make sure you don't install too many apps. So our store is now set up and it's primed. It's got all the setup that we want. Let's go into choosing and setting up your product. This is where most people fail, choosing the wrong product. You see, you can have the best Shopify store in the world, the best ads, but if you've got the wrong product, then you're not going to have a business whatsoever. I see too many people list generic products, spend money on ads, Don't get sales and just give up and say e-commerce doesn't work. The way to solve that problem is to make sure your product has some sort of demand. It solves a problem, it feeds a desire, or it is a need that someone has. There's no point just listing something generic that everybody else sells because you're not going to be able to stand out in the market. So what we do is we look at what trends are happening in market, review those trends and see whether or not we can differentiate a product in market. I'll give you an example of the one that we're talking about here. This is the product that this store is going to be advertising. It's called Dose and it is a coffee concentrate. Now, I used to run a coffee store that sold coffee beans and it was really, really hard to cut through. I couldn't differentiate myself in the market because there was thousands and thousands of other people who were selling coffee beans because it's easy to get into that market. So what we did is we found a trend and we doubled down on it and manufactured our own product to meet that trend. And that meant that we had a higher demand, we were on the back of a trend, and we could actually sell a product and build a brand around it. Now that's not always the easiest way to do things, but to get started, what I'd recommend is using tools like Trend Rocket or Google Trends to try and find a product or a niche that is sort of on trend and look at products that are selling in there, and then head over to Amazon, see if other people are selling those products, check the reviews, find out what you could do differently about this product. I always say to the students in my e-commerce academy, if you can't explain or convince someone with one sentence why they should buy your product over someone else's, then it's going to be really hard to convince someone that visits your website to buy your product, okay? So that's the first thing. Find a product that someone wants and then make a change to it to differentiate yours from everybody else in the market. Now, once you've found a product that you want to sell, there's sort of 4 different strategies when it comes to e-commerce that you can implement. Now, the first one is dropshipping or print on demand. Now, that one is great because it's a great way to get started and a great way to test out your e-commerce skills and learn about e-commerce and learn about all the tools and what happens and what doesn't happen. It has a low investment, but it usually also has a low margin. It also means it's very hard to build a brand around it, and it's not necessarily a long-term business. Great to get started, not a great business to keep running. The second type is where we resell other people's products. I actually have a store that does this and we resell other people's brands. The good thing about this is those brands are well known in market and you don't need to do as much advertising to get sales for those brands. The con of that though is that the margins are really tight and you don't have control over the supply chain. So if that brand is out of stock of that product, you're not going to be able to sell it. It also means that other people are selling the same products, so it's ultra competitive. Now, the third way is what we call white labeling. This is where we find a product that we like, we make a small change to it, and we sell it with our own brand name on it. Now, we did this in the headphone space a little while ago with a brand called ColourPods. It was really good because we were able to, find a product, change the colors around it, put our brand on it, and differentiate ourselves in market. Now, that went really well for a while until our supplier decided they don't want to make it anymore, and we weren't able to sell that product anymore. So white labeling is great, but again, you're not in control of the manufacturing. And then the fourth one, which is the ultimate way to run an e-commerce store, is to create your own product from scratch and create your own brand from scratch. Now, this takes a lot more investment up front, takes a lot more time to build a brand, but you're going to build a long-term sustainable business. So for those starting out, what I recommend is give dropshipping a go. Use that to learn your skills. That's not going to be the thing that's going to make you rich, but it's going to be the thing that's going to give you, the learning capacity. Then we move into, white labeling or reselling as a bit of a test there until you can build up a little bit of funds that you can develop your own product. You've learned all the skills and then you can invest in yourself and invest in your business. So once you've got the product that you want to sell and you know the fulfillment method that you're going to put into play, let's get over to Shopify now and I'll show you how to set the product up properly. So click products on Shopify and we've already got some that are built in here. If you don't have any products in here yet, we're going to click add product over on the right and we can go through and fill this out. I'm just going to go to one I've created earlier, which is this coffee concentrate one, and take you through the important parts of this. So the first one is the title. We obviously need to give the product the title. The second one is the description. Now this is a very basic description, but what you'll find is this is an outcome-based description. What a lot of people do is they put in here how the product is made and what the features and everything are of it. People don't really care about that yet. They just want to know what the product does for them. So as you can see, what we've written here is make any coffee you like in seconds. Just add 1 tablespoon of Dose to create your favorite hot or cold drink. So it's super simple, super easy. And I'll show you how we expand out the other parts of the product page in a moment. The next important thing here is the media, and this is your images and your videos. We recommend at least having 5 high quality product images. And I'll give you an example of what we've done here. If If you click in here, we just have a bottle of coffee. It's not anything overly exciting that you can do lots of photography on, but have a look how we've done it. We've got a front, we have a back, we have the side, we also have it in a box, we also have the box itself, we have how it gets used, and a few different ways of how it gets used. So we've taken a very simple product and we have given a really good overview of how it works. So this is really important because if you think when someone's buying in store, they can pick up the product, they can take it off the shelf, they can look at it, and they can be confident they're making the right decision. We can't do that when it comes to e-commerce, which is why we need to make sure we have great product imagery. And if you can put video on here, absolutely put video on here because that helps conversion rates go right through the roof. Now, while we're in this section of images, I want to take you through a little bit of an SEO hack. Now, what you can see on all of my images is, I'll go back to the start to show you, is I've put the name in the file name and I've done alt text as a keyword. If we go to the next one, we can see the same thing. Liquid coffee concentrate, liquid coffee concentrate. I've done a different thing here, liquid instant coffee. These are all searchable keywords. Now by doing this, it's going to help our store rank for those keywords. All right, we're going to pop out of here and we're going to keep going down the page. Now, category is a new thing that's been added into Shopify. This just helps Shopify know the product that you sell. So that for large catalogs, so if you're selling thousands of products on one store, it's going to help categorize that, put the right meta fields in and do a lot of stuff in the background. So just make sure you fill this out to something that matches what you sell. Now, variants are where we could have different options on products. Now, in our world, we're using variants a little bit different to the way other people would. We're using it as a quantity thing, but that's just because we're doing subscriptions and it just makes it a little bit easier. I'll show you on my other store how we're using it so you can get a feeling for how they work. So if I pop over to this store here, this is one of our stores, and this is one where we sell boxing gloves. So the way variations work here is we can do a size variation or we could do a color variation. So we can see I could buy the different size and I could buy it sort of in these different colors as we need here, okay? So that's sort of how variations work. So have a think about your product, whether they come in sizes or colors or anything like that, and you can break it up that way. You want to make it really easy for the customer to know what options that they have. Okay, let's just keep going down. Now this product has a subscription option. So if you want to do subscriptions, they're great to try and get those repeat purchases and lifetime value. I'm just using the built-in Shopify subscription app. It's free, it does the job. It's not overly advanced, but it does everything that we need it to do. There are other apps out there if you want to do more advanced subscriptions. Now, meta fields are an amazing way to customize your products your way. I'll show you how we're using them. As an example, our product has a certain amount of doses or servings per bottle. So we've put that in here. We've said what the bottle unit is. We've done some USPs. And so what I mean by that is unique selling propositions. So I'll pop over to the store and I'll show you what this looks like. So this is the way we've laid out our product page. You can see those things that we talked about have flown through here. And if we scroll down, we can see these meta fields here. In stock, ships in under 24 hours, 30-day trial. This is the part where we've got like the 15 doses. This is coming in from meta fields. Now we have used a developer to help us with that. So that's a little add-on. And this one here, we've actually got a developer to do for us as well. So we've just slightly upgraded this theme a little bit just to make it that little bit different. But if we click over here, we can see these meta fields come through again. So this is specific to this one product. And by using the meta fields, it means that we can display them on the front end. All right, so now that we're on this product page, I want to take you through some conversion rate tips that's going to help you optimize this page. Now, there's a few things that are super, super important. The first one is making sure that we have a description, like I said, that has an outcome to it, okay? The second one is making sure that people know how much it is. And they also want to make sure that if they buy this thing from you, that the risk has been removed. And what I mean by that is if I buy something, I want to be confident that if something's wrong with it, I'm going to be able to return it, or I want to make sure that I'm making the right decision. So what we've done here is we have put a 30-day trial, love it or your money back. So now this just reduces any sort of risk for someone making this product. And by saying that we're going to give you money back, we're proving that this is a great product. Okay, so we do a 30-day free trial. We also talk about how fast they're going to get the product. People want to know how quick they're going to get it. So speed and simplicity of shipping is super important. And what you'll also notice is that we've called out the cost of the shipping. A big conversion rate factor is the amount that you charge for shipping and what your shipping proposition is. If you think about the way Amazon works, they've really set the market standard and we all have to comply a little bit with those guys. If you buy from Amazon, it's free and it is exceptionally fast. So we need to at least try and come up with something that's close to that or palatable as that, because you're always going to be referenced against Amazon. So what we've done is we've made this shipping really, really clear to only $6.95, and we've set it as priority, okay? So we want them to make it feel like it's fast, and we've done this little green thing here to make it feel fast so that they're going to get the product quickly. Even if they don't need it quickly, they want it quickly, okay? I promise you. Now, the best shipping proposition is obviously free and fast if you can, but if that's not, then we want to just make sure that our shipping is clear. One of the biggest mistakes I see on product pages is that people say shipping and taxes calculated at checkout. Now, you need to remove that, because we want our customers here to have all the information that they need to make a decision to click that add to cart button. And that leads me to the next part of this product page. Don't ever have someone clicking off the page to get more information. We'll often see here when someone's looking at, say, their shipping proposition, it will have something here that says, click here to read more information. We've instantly taken them away from the place that we want them to be to somewhere else. So if they want to buy the product, then they need to come back and click add to cart. We want to keep all the information on this product page. Let's keep going down. I'll give you some more information about what we want to do. So we want to talk to the customer on how they might use it if it's a product that needs some use. Again, giving them more information about the product. We also want to add things like why the product is amazing. So we've got in here why we love this product. We also want to add in something called social proof. And this is where reviews come in. And that's why we're using Judge Me. People buy from other people, and they also buy if they know other people have used the product before them and they love it. That's why Amazon puts reviews front and center. So make sure you put a reviews app in there and encourage as many reviews as possible. And then the final piece of the puzzle is frequently asked questions. We want to be able to answer the questions before people ask them, because if they're asking questions, then it means they're in doubt of making that purchasing decision. So frequently asked questions is a must-have on your product pages. And these are the ones that are going to encourage people to buy and give them reasons why they should buy this product. Final thing when it comes to your website optimization is we want to drive people to the cart as quickly as possible. So we're going to click add to cart. And what we're going to see here is our little slide out cart come out. Okay. And we can see in here, this is a very simple basic cart. We don't have additional products on here, so we can't do upsells or cross sells right now. We will soon, but right now we can't. We don't have any other sort of motivators. So what we've done is we've made it super clear, super simple, and we've got one checkout button. Now on some stores, what I'll be seeing is we have an add to cart, and sometimes we have like a instant checkout button. Now, if you've only got one product, instant checkout's absolutely fine. But if you've got multiple products and you want to do upsells, cross sells, then I'll just have a single add to cart button. But we just want to make it super easy. We don't want to give them too many decisions they need to make. So I'm going to go add to cart, and then I go to checkout, and it's going to take me directly to the Shopify branded checkout. Now, if you're just using a standard Shopify subscription, you're not going to be able to do anything here. If you're using a Shopify Plus, we can make some changes here. So let me show you how I'm doing it with an Upcart app. So I'll head over to this store here. This is our other store. So we'll click add to cart on this one, and we can see this pops up. This is the sell up app that allows you to do add-ons and upsells at the add to cart point. So we're going to choose black. We click add them into the cart. We'll add them in. And now we can see that we've got the gloves that we've added, and we've also got now the wraps that we've added there. But here we've got a thing called a shipping motivator. So this says you got to spend a little bit more money to get free shipping. That's a really good one. Now the Upcart app is cool because not only you give free shipping away, you can give free gifts, you can do different tiers, you can do lots of different stuff. But the other cool things about this app is that it uses AI to give suggested add-ons. So let me close this off and let's see if it changes based on what I've got in here. That's okay, that one puts that in there. But it also adds in shipping protection. Shipping protection is a great little add-on that you can use to get some extra revenue through the door. And then we have a clear, easy to understand checkout option here. And that's going to take you through directly to the checkout, or using Shop Pay or Apple Pay or Google Pay, whatever you use. All right, guys, that is a lot. So just take a deep breath. Grab a drink of water, because we're going to go through now how to get traffic to your store, because your store's all set up, your products are ready to go. Let's start making some money. And in order to do that, we need to drive targeted traffic to our store. Now, there's two main ways to get traffic, and that is we need to pay for it or we get it for free. Okay. Now, if we pay for it, it means we get customers now. If we go down the free methods, it means it takes us a little bit of time. So we're not paying with money, we're paying with time. Now, the ones that we recommend for a store that's just starting up is Meta ads, Google ads, and TikTok, okay? Now, Meta and TikTok are great for generating demand. We call that demand generation, or sometimes you might hear like brand awareness. So that's why we would use those channels, because they're quite visual. We're usually interrupting someone's social feed. They may not be interested in buying it, but they may be actually interested in the product. So we call that creating demand for your product. The second one, which is Google Ads, is what we call capturing demand. So just say that someone is looking for coffee concentrate and they go to Google, they type it in, and our ad pops up. They're likely to click it. Okay, so that's what we call generating demand. And it's important to have both of those running at the same time. The three main ways to pay for traffic is by running Meta ads, which is Facebook and Instagram. It's by running Google ads, which is in the search and on YouTube. And it's also by doing TikTok ads if you have TikTok in your region. Now, the difference between sort of the Meta and TikTok versus Google is Meta and TikTok are great because they have visual platforms, and it's how we generate demand for our products. We call it like brand awareness. We'll be showing our ads to people who might be interested in our product, but not necessarily interested in buying them. Whereas Google Ads is great because it's an intent-based platform, which means people are typically typing and searching for the product that you sell, which means you can put your ad in front of them and they buy your product. Now, the second way to get traffic is free, or sometimes it'll be called organic. And the three ones that we recommend are email marketing, SEO, and influencer or referral marketing. Email marketing is one of my favorite things to do because it means that you have a direct relationship with your customers and you can send emails to customers that are ready to buy and can encourage them to buy. We use a tool called Klaviyo. It's highly integrated into Shopify. In fact, Shopify owns part of Klaviyo and it's designed just for e-commerce. It's basically like a little tool that prints money for you. I've got a link to it down below if you want to get started on it. I think it's a free trial for the link I've got there. But the cool thing about Klaviyo is that you can set up all these automations and it basically sends emails to people based on what they do. So if they leave something in their cart and they don't finish it, we'll send them a reminder. If they visit your site and don't buy something, we can send them an incentive to come back and buy. We can also send out campaigns, we can collect email addresses, we can collect SMSs, we can do everything. It basically prints money. Highly recommend Klaviyo. Grab a trial if you can. The second way that we get free traffic is via SEO. Now, SEO is a little bit like planting vegetables, right? So you set up your veggie patch, you put your seeds in, you water the veggie patch, and over time you eventually get vegetables, okay? So SEO is not a short-term strategy, it's 100% a long-term strategy, and sometimes we don't see SEO results for 6, 12, even 18 months. And then the final one is influencer marketing. This is where we get other people to recommend and promote your brand on your behalf. Now, a few tips around influencer marketing is when you go to find an influencer, find one that doesn't necessarily have to have the biggest following in the world, but just has the biggest following of your target market. Now, in order to find influencers, it's actually quite easy. It just takes time, right? So what you're not paying for in money, you're paying for in time. So you just have to outreach and manually contact all the influencers you want to work with and ask them to work with you. It's as simple as that. Now, we did that on this brand Dosed. I think we've reached out to about 100 different creators. We got back about 2025 at this stage, and we're just continuing to do that every month and try and capture more and more creators. All right, so I highly recommend you implement both paid and free strategies to get traffic. We can't just launch a store and expect people to come. We now need to scream from the rooftops on how they do it, and those strategies is going to help you with that. Once you've done that, we've got traffic coming in, it's time to run your store, and this is where the operational side of the business comes in. And the first thing you need to really think about is how are you going to serve your customers? Now, I'll give you an example. Imagine you walked into a retail store, maybe to go and buy some sneakers, and you're in the store and you found some really cool sneakers that are hanging up on the wall and you're looking at them, but there's no one there to help you. You look around and there's no customer service person, or there's no sales assistant, or if there is, they're rude, they don't want to be helpful. What are you going to do? You're going to put the shoe back on the shelf and you're going to walk out the door. The same applies to e-commerce. If we don't support people and give them sort of access to customer service, they are just going to walk out and they're never going to come back again. So I've got a solution for you on how you do that. If you're just starting out, I want you to use Shopify Inbox. Shopify Inbox basically brings in all your customer service requests from email and on your live chat into one little spot, which means that you can sort of use the app to basically respond to customers. We can also do some canned responses. So, if they want to try and find an answer, they can. If they need to find some information about their order, they can. But it just pops up on your phone and you can talk to your customers directly sort of in real time, or they can send through an email and you can respond to them in real time. You definitely need to have some sort of easy way to track customer emails and some easy way to talk to them via live chat. If you don't have a good customer service platform, then you're not going to have a good conversion rate because people aren't going to trust you. They're just going to go and they're going to leave. Now, if you want to really go all in, what we're seeing is that we're getting a lot more customer inquiries from Instagram DMs or TikTok or Facebook or even SMS or WhatsApp, right? So what happens there is it's hard to control all these things. We get all these sort of incoming tickets from everywhere. And I'm sure those people already run stores that are watching this video. You're jumping in DMs, you're jumping in emails, you're jumping in messages, and you sort of can't keep up with all the inbound links. Now, there is an app that we use for our store. We've got 5 or 6 customer service reps that manage our stores, which means we use a tool that collates everything. And this tool collates all your DMs, it collates all your emails, all your SMSs, basically everything into one profile, so that you can just go through and say, okay, someone sent me a message, someone sent me a DM, somebody sent me an email, and we can manage it that way. And the tool we use is called Gorgeous, and I've put a link to it because it's spelled a little bit funny down below. And this basically brings everything all into one spot, which means my customer service reps can just log in there and monitor sort of any incoming inquiry. The really awesome thing about it is that it actually ties directly into Shopify, which means our customer service reps don't actually need access to Shopify. They can monitor and edit the orders directly in there. So I highly recommend giving Gorgeous a go if you want to take your customer service to the next level. Now, the next thing you need to think about is how we're going to get the order out to the customer. And this is where it comes down to shipping and fulfillment. I'll take you through just sort of the basic overviews of shipping. It's different for every single country, so I don't have time in this video to go through every single shipping setup, but it's pretty straightforward. So let me show you. Head back to your Shopify store, and I want you to click Settings, and we're going to go here to Shipping and Delivery. Now in here, you're going to be able to add in all your sort of shipping rates, any custom shipping rates, everything in there, and basically just click into New Profile, and you sort of start filling it out as you need to fill things out based on what products you want to sell in that profile, whether it's all products, whether there's any different zones and things you want to set up. So just take some time going through setting it up that's suitable for your region. Now, there are a whole heap of apps that are going to help you with this. So if you head to the Shopify Theme store again, I want you to click Browse Apps and click Orders and Shipping. What this does is it's going to give you a whole heap of apps that are related to shipping and order fulfillment and returns and everything like that that's going to be specific to your country. So as an example, I'm based in Australia, so we would use an app like this, which is an Australia Post style app. Whereas if you're in the US, you might use something else. You might use ShipStation or ShipHero, or if you're in other countries, you might, or in Australia, we use one called Sendle, or there's just so many out there. So what you want to do is find the one that's specific to your region and give it a go. Now, you don't necessarily need to have a shipping app. In certain regions, Shopify has it all built in, so you don't need to worry about it, but have a look and see what is suitable for you. Once you've worked out how you're going to ship the item, we can now look at where else can we sell our item. And this is a really awesome thing that I love, and it's actually just made everyone's life super easy. So if we head back to our Shopify store and we go back to settings, I want you to click something which is called markets. Markets basically give you the opportunity to sell to anywhere in the world. It's crazy, right? We just click a button and we can sell anywhere. I'll show you how it works. We're going to go into markets and click add market, and we're going to choose where we want to sell it. So let's just say I want to sell this coffee into North America. Type in the name of the region I want to do, and then in here, I'm going to search for United States. Okay. And now what I can do is I can click here, click add market, and it's almost as easy as that. It's added North America, and in here we can add in which products that we want to add into the market. So let's just say I don't want to sell the Kickstart kit into the US. I'll click exclude from market, right? That's going to hide that. I can change the pricing as I need. Let's go back. We can then add any taxes or anything that we might need to be claiming, and we can set up different shipping rates for those markets as well. Okay, we can change any payment settings or anything like that. So if you do want to sell into other regions, just use this setting here. It's really, really awesome. Now, if you want me to do a more detailed, in-depth video around markets, let me know down below. I can do that for you. Now, there's one final feature I want you to really think about when it comes to distributing your products, and that is selling on other platforms. So we can sell on places like Amazon, we can sell on places like eBay, we can sell on all these different marketplaces directly from our Shopify store. Now, the app that we want to use is called Marketplace Connect, and that is this one here. It's by Shopify, and I think there's a small monthly fee, but basically what it allows you to do is connect into all these marketplaces. So any product that you have listed on your Shopify store, you can turn on in any one of these markets, which means if the product sells on that market, it shoots back into your Shopify store, and then you dispatch it from whatever way you want to. This is a really good way to not just rely on getting traffic to your Shopify store, but leveraging traffic on those other platforms. So if that's something interesting, definitely install this app. It's like super easy, just tick it and you're on, and you're selling, on Walmart and Amazon and Target and all those sort of places. It is really awesome. Now let's talk about taking your store to the next level. Let's work out how we're going to get from this sort of startup store to an epic killer brand. Now, this is what I do when I scale my stores. The first thing I do is I really hone in on my cost of goods and understand my economics perfectly, because that allows me to spend more on marketing. And if I can spend more on marketing and spit profit out the other side, I'm going to spend as much as I can. So I'm going to really hone in on those economics. So if we're drop shipping, can we buy the product cheaper? If we're manufacturing our own, can we get our cost of goods a lot lower? How do we increase our margin so we can spend more on marketing? Once we've nailed that, then the world is our oyster. We can just spend more money and more money comes out. Then what we would do is we would duplicate and triplicate, if that's even a word, a different product range. We'd look at adding more products that we can sell to our existing customers and new products that will attract new customers in. So we're continually growing the size of our customer base. So I'd add more products into it. I'd then look at making sure I'm selling into other regions. What sort of regions can I sell into? I'd then looking at adding small add-on products, and I'd look at just expanding over time and time again. After I'd done that, I would look at bringing in new team members. So I'd replace myself within the business. And the way I'd do that is in this order. I'd first replace my customer service team so they can look after the tickets and incoming leads. I'd then replace my fulfillment team. Rather than me packing the orders, I'd make sure I have other people packing the orders. This is now starting to free up my time. I'd then get someone else to do product management and finding new products and installing new products in the store. I'd then get someone to help me with my marketing. I wouldn't use an agency, I'd hire internally. And then I'd look at getting an e-commerce manager to run the store completely. And then finally, I'd add in a new CEO to run the entire business. So effectively what I've done is I'm slowly buying back my time on making sure I run my business, and then I've got an asset that's just sitting there growing time and time again, and then I rinse and repeat and do it on another store. That's effectively how you will scale your business. All right, let's take a big deep breath, because that is a lot. That's the masterclass, and that is a blueprint that's going to get you from $0 to $100,000 a month and further. And if you didn't take notes, even though I asked you to, I do have the ultimate Shopify checklist down in the show notes that you can download and follow along so that you make sure you're doing the right things at the right time so you can get the right results. And if you've stuck with me this far, you already know more than the 99% of people trying to grow their Shopify business. But knowledge alone isn't enough, and you do need to start action. So after you've watched this video, please start implementing and getting things done. There's no point watching a video, spending this much time without getting anywhere. Now, if you do want to fast track and implement quickly and get results fast, I do run a company which is called the E-commerce Academy, where we work with you to get these results and implement these key strategies. Now, I do want to put together, I guess, a little offer at the end of this masterclass, because we've spent a little bit of time together. I want to reward you. So what me and my team would do for you is we work with you one-on-one to grow your store. We would implement every single one of these strategies. We would teach you along the way. We'd give you all our templates. We'd give you access to our coaches, access to other entrepreneurs that are doing the same thing, access to my web optimization team. We'd do full site audits of your store. We'd give you the whole bells and whistles. Now, we do that for someone who's already sort of on their way to growth. So anyone that's looking to get from sort of $10,000 to $1 million a year, we would work with you closely in our elite program. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I've put a link in the notes below. Now, if you're just starting up, we also have another program which is called the e-commerce bootcamp. And the goal of that program is to get you to $10,000 a month so that we can bring you into our the big boy program. All right, so that's called the e-commerce bootcamp, and that one is awesome. We have an amazing community of hundreds of e-commerce entrepreneurs in there who are just starting out and going through this journey together. We teach you exactly everything that you need to do to get you to those first few sales. And if we have live calls, I coach you, I answer questions. It is a lot of fun. So if you want to join into those programs, you're more than welcome to. If what you've liked in this video is everything that you need to grow, imagine what happens when you're on the inside of my community. Now, if you're still learning, feel free to check out any one of these other videos here that's going to be really powerful for you if you really want to take your Shopify store to